Welcome to our video. Today, we're going to talk about Brad being a new dad.
Daddy
Braddy. We have a 6-week-old, and so I thought it would be really fun / informative for you guys to know about all things new dad, because it's always about the mom, but what about dad? So I want to know first what you were expecting initially before I even had her. What did you think new dad life was going to be like?
I think everyone just tells you, oh, you're not going to be able to sleep much. The baby's just going to sleep, eat, and poop.
Okay.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. So I was expecting the baby to sleep a lot more than the baby sleeps. Truthfully. I feel like throughout the day, you're constantly having to carry Scarlett around, or we're trying to, keep her occupied in some way. So I don't know if that's normal. I don't know. I know also all babies are different, so I don't know.
Yeah, I think for the first week, maybe she slept a lot, but after that, no.
Yeah. Also, I feel like I get more sleep than I thought I was going to get, just because in the middle of the night, I just expected her to cry and wake me up all the time, but she wakes you up and not me up. And
okay.
She, only time I hear it is if she really goes off, or if sometimes you are a little bit not very quick to respond to the cry, and I'll also wake up in those situations.
That's fair.
But I don't have what she wants, so she ain't crying for me.
All right, so next I want to hear your perspective of labor and delivery. How did you feel about it, or what can you give as advice to new dads in labor and delivery?
Take how long you think you're going to be at the hospital and multiply it by 4. And that's how long you're going to be there. I thought we were going to spend the night, possibly 2 nights, because they were inducing you so late on Tuesday. If the baby wasn't born until Wednesday, then we had to spend Wednesday night, and we wouldn't get to leave till Thursday. But then we didn't get to leave till Friday, and it wasn't even Friday morning. It was Friday.
Yeah, I still can't.
Afternoon.
I still can't believe that. It was.
I actually just get frustrated even thinking about it. So I don't even want to talk about how long we were there, because I'm just this is my baby. Let me leave the hospital. This is ridiculous. Now I know why rich people have home births and have people come into their homes, because they want to just stay at home and not be stuck in the hospital. There's this weird thing too in the hospital is you want to be there because you want to be able to assist your wife, who just had a baby and can't really move around or do anything. She's still in pain. Everything hurts. There's blood and stuff everywhere. And you want to be there to help her. And at the same time, they bring her food. They don't bring you food. They
They really take care of the mom.
Yeah, they take care of the mom, and then the dad is there
Sleeping on the couch.
So people brought me food more than they brought Aubrie food, because I would feel bad leaving, but I need to eat. And especially when you're there for, Tuesday night, Wednesday night, Thursday night. We were there for 4 days.
Yeah. So it sounds like you kind of had not a great experience.
No, I hated it. Literally hated it.
But you didn't express that to me. So that's what I suggest to you at home. Don't express that.
Yeah, I wasn't going through the pain. So it's she's there with me. She can't leave too. So I think that certain situations, it doesn't help to vent your frustration in, because you're both going through it together, and then that can just compound your emotions while you're there.
What about labor? What?
The actual labor portion of it?
Yeah, were you freaked out?
It went a really long time, but it didn't feel like it was that long. Yeah, it was 2 hours of Aubrie pushing, but it felt like it was only 30 minutes.
Yeah, totally. I feel the same way.
Because you just kind of get into this rhythm, and time just starts going by. It always sucks to see someone that you care about in pain and you can't do anything, or if I could help her push, I'd help her push, but I couldn't do anything. So
I feel like you did.
But I would just say whatever they need you to do it. So if they want you to hold their head up, do it. If they want you to put a cold rag on their forehead, do it. If they want you to lift their leg, do it. Because really, that's what you're there for, because you can't do anything else. So just help them with whatever they need help with.
True.
So.
Okay, so let's talk about after she was born. Just want to talk about sleep. What can you say about sleep with a new baby? What can new dads expect?
I don't know. I mean, I slept at the hospital too.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know. Aubrie and I are a little bit different. I've heard stories of like people being like, I wake my husband up in the middle of the night so he can change the diaper after I get done feeding. And there's this whole like misery loves company thing. And that's not how Aubrie and I operate. Aubrie knows that like during the day, I need to be able to be
function
somewhat rested enough because like I have meetings for our business. I'm the one that kind of puts out those fires. I'm the one that's, running payroll, the one that's running, I don't know, running around and like making sure everything's done. I'm the one that's like in these meetings and stuff. I
have not been miserable either. Like sleep has not been like super hard for me. I just kind of like wake up. I'm breastfeeding too, so I feel like that is what helps a little bit. I mean, if maybe she was bottle fed, maybe I would ask you to, maybe in like early morning, I don't know.
Yeah.
Those first weeks though, I woke up at like 4 or 5 to feed her, and then I just handed her off to you.
Yeah, what I would say is like find a chunk either at the beginning at like night when that you can watch the baby so that mom can get some protected sleep time either at night or in the morning. For example, even this morning, like I had Scarlett for about an hour and a half this morning, and I literally I was holding her, then I played with her in her bouncer, and I just kind of moved her around because about 30 minutes she was fine just sitting on me or me holding her, and then after that, the next hour she needed me to like some kind of mental stimulation, so I had to be like playing with her or bouncing her in her bouncer or putting her pacifier in.
Even if you're not the type of dad that's like going to change a diaper or going to like swaddle and like be super involved, like I wouldn't say Brad is that type of dad that just like wants to learn and do every single thing for the baby, but like you can still give your wife like a good hour and a half to do whatever.
Yeah, Aubrie texts me and says, this is what heaven is like, because I just took her for this morning so that she could just self-care for a little bit.
That's why I look great.
I think that's the important part is that, even if you, because I realize that we're not a traditional family. Aubrie doesn't have to go back to work per se, but you also didn't get maternity leave like most working moms will get, whether that's paid or unpaid. Like Aubrie was working in the hospital the day Scarlett was born. Like we had stuff to do. We own our own businesses. Like we have to work. Same with me. Like, yes, I don't necessarily have to be at my desk at 8 a.m. Monday through Friday, but I still have 12 plus hours of work throughout the day. So, but finding those times when you can just help your wife get some, I guess, mental
a mental break.
Yeah, mental break for their sanity, self-care time, I think is important. So whether that's at night or in the mornings or, in the middle of the day, if you have the ability to do that, I think that's important. So I think I just know that I'm gone all day for work, and when I come home, as much as I want to just sit there and relax, Aubrie's been dealing with the baby all day, so I need to.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest change, and maybe something that you guys at home can realize is that even if you're going to go back to work, like when you get home, maybe you can get some like de-stressing time, decompressing, but know that when you come home, you might not get as much decompression and de-stressing time. You might be handed a baby just so that we can get some decompression. I think be prepared for that.
Yeah, important thing to remember is that like you can't expect your life to be the same. You just had another human to your family. It's not even like a dog. Like even when you add a dog to your family, your life changes. You may have to get up a little bit earlier than you normally have to let your dog out, feed your dog, play with your dog before you go to work. When you get home from work, you don't necessarily just get to like take your shoes off and plop down on the couch and not move, because you now need to take your dog for a walk and let your dog out and play with your dog. So if you think that a dog requires more effort and a change in your life, then a tiny human definitely requires more effort and a change in your life. So I think that's the biggest thing, is that your life is going to be different. If you think your life is going to be the same, or you want your life to be the same, then don't have a kid. And don't get a dog also. So I think that's just the biggest thing, is that you can't expect everything to be the same, because it's not going to be.
So I feel like we hit daytime and nighttime pretty good, but I wanted to ask you about like socializing. What can dads expect about their social life? I feel like you're kind of a homebody anyway, so it's not like you went out and socialized. Your gym time is your social life, but did that change?
I don't know, like I think for the first like 3 to 4 weeks I didn't really play video games as much anymore, and I normally played video games at night to like de-stress, but I wanted to like be around to give you that like time. I feel like you get more reprieve during the day than you used to get. I don't know if that's true, but I just think that you've gotten into a routine, so you've realized
Depends on
now
the day, but
whenever you lay her down, like you can get some stuff done. Before, I think you would lay her down and you would just like hover over her because you like didn't know if she was about to wake up, and you didn't take
or
that.
she was like nursing all the time.
Yeah.
Now she's in a rhythm, so I feel like
So I think you get a little bit more time to escape away, so I don't feel as bad for playing video games here and there to like
I still feel like meal
unwind.
times are hard, like dinner time. Like I really maybe someday I'll be able to like make dinner, but some nights I can't, and so I feel like that's a job that
I guess I
I've
do
given you.
I do make dinner more often, but a lot of it is we've been making mass amounts of food and then eating off of that. Like the
Yeah.
brisket I made, we've been eating off of that. When we cook ground beef now, instead of cooking like half the pack now and half the pack later, we'll just cook the whole package so it's like ready to go and just heat up. So I guess a lot more like reheated food than normal. But I mean, when you cook like a brisket, it's like, okay, fine, we have brisket with sides. Then we did brisket sandwiches. And it's like we
Have
could do
people
brisket tacos.
sign up for meals? I mean, that helped a ton, but
And
now the meals are not.
Have people sign up for meals after the first week too. Everyone wants to help you the first week. Everyone, like right after the baby born, offering to bring over food, whatever. Second week, still some people being like, oh, do you need anything? Third week, you're on your own. So either have people bring meals, like everyone bring meals over that you can freeze if you have the freezer space to like freeze a ton of meals, so that way you can kind of just like go through them all. Or literally get a sign up sheet for like week 3 and week 4.
Yeah.
Because
those are hard weeks still.
Yeah.
So I feel like you still need like support for sure. So any specific sacrifices that new dads can like expect to make? I feel like we talked about that a little bit, but is there anything else?
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of it also just depends on what situation you're in. Like I said, we owning our own businesses, like the mom doesn't have maternity leave, so it'd probably be a little bit different. I think a lot of moms that have maternity leave, have anywhere from 6 to 12 weeks, and they're gonna want to spend all the time with the baby, so they don't really care what the dad's doing because they know they have to go back to work. You, on the other hand, are still working, so you're trying to balance that, and you know that you're not having to like leave Scarlett in 6 to 12 weeks.
That's
so
true, yeah.
I think we have a little bit different dynamic than the average person. The sacrifices, I think the first couple of weeks is I tried to do anything I could virtually, which, honestly, the bright side of COVID is that people have learned to live in a virtual world, that, a lot more Zoom meetings take place. A lot of people are okay with doing phone calls and stuff when they would normally have wanted to meet in person. So I think that's a positive that's come out of COVID. So because of that, though, I was able for the first couple of weeks to kind of stay home and help you more. So I guess it's sacrifices on that end. I didn't go to the gym for a while. As consistently.
For like 10 days, I feel like.
Yeah, and then didn't play video games with my friends, that's my de-wind, de-stress time, unwind and de-stress. But in general, like I don't really feel like it's that many
like
sacrifices.
Yeah.
And also people always said, oh, the lack of sleep thing. But the military, I had the most lack of sleep. So there's no way that a baby, even if I got up with Scarlett every time she woke up in the middle of the night, I still would get twice as much sleep as I got in the military. So it's like, granted, I was younger, so it's harder when you're old.
I have a couple more pieces to hit, but the next one is just like any emotions that new dads can expect to feel. Some dads go through like depression. Some dads go. It's just. I mean, it's a big change. I feel like you did go through some things.
Yeah. I think that. Well, I also, not trying to say that we're super unique, but it's a unique situation. I'm going through running businesses through a growth phase, building our new home, planning the grand opening for our storefront, and a lot of stressors that the average person probably doesn't have on their life. And then when you add in the baby, it just made it seem sometimes like I just felt overwhelmed a lot. And it wasn't just because the baby wasn't overwhelming. It was everything with the baby was overwhelming. But I think some things that you go through is just the whole like recognition that your life is changing forever. I think any major time in your life that something happens, those things happen, whether you move to a new state, whether you marry someone, whether you get a dog, whether you whatever, you kind of have these moments like oh no.
Yeah,
what
you do. Even as a mom, you do.
You're like, what have I done? You know, kind of thing.
It's like every single day.
Yeah, it's probably you know. So you're just like, oh gosh, what have I done? Like this is forever,
That's
right?
normal.
It's probably the same feeling someone gets when they get like a tattoo, and then they're like, look at their tattoo maybe because they don't like it, or they're like, oh my gosh, what have I done? And it just has a grow on them. I don't know. But anyways, that kind of thing. Maybe when you get a new haircut and it's like super short and you're like, oh my God, what have I done?
Did you feel like she had to like you had to build your relationship with her, like get to know her? Because that's how I felt. Like I thought I would be in love with her right away. And it was almost like I had to like get to know her to be like completely consumed by that love.
No. I think right away, I think I told you like even when like you were just pregnant with her, that like I had this like love because we had created something together.
Yeah.
So I don't think it was so much for me. But I just like also know that like I'm probably not going to get to know her personality and be as close to her until like later in life. Because right now to me, she's just like, I literally hold her and she start crying. I'm just like, I don't know what you want. Like,
yeah.
So
the last two things are, I wanted to ask you like, what's the best part about being dads so that dads can get really excited? And then, anything else that you feel like would help with the transition?
The best part, I mean, I literally look forward to our little mornings together, even though it's like sometimes only 20 minutes and sometimes it's an hour and a half. Like I was holding her this morning and she was literally she kept smiling at me and I was like, this is great. And then I held her and we were both watching TV for like 10 minutes and I was like, this is awesome. I can't wait until we can watch TV together for 45 minutes or an hour. And hopefully I can convince her to watch things I want to watch. I know they love Coco Melon, but maybe she'll like to watch Call of Duty Warzone clips because people are running around and shooting guns. I don't know.
Wow.
There's a lot of action going on the screen, you know?
Violence, man.
Whatever. It's a game.
Anything else that you feel like could be the could help new dads with the transition?
I think with anything, just know you're not alone when you're going through these processes. I think a lot of people feel like they're alone in any way that they are feeling and they internalize everything and they don't talk about it with their friends. And I'm fortunate enough that all the guys I work out with are dads now. You know, two of them have 3 kids. One of them has 1 kid. So, you know, my little workout crew is a bunch of dads. So we talk about this kind of stuff. So, I'm sure there's dad podcasts out there. Adam and I have joked around about starting a dad entrepreneur podcast. So maybe soon in the future, we'll have some information for dads. I know we found some YouTube channels that talks about some of the dad stuff.
Comment below if you're interested in that.
Yeah, for sure. Let me know because we would like to do it. Obviously, I predominantly know the following of Aubrie and I is female based because Aubrie's cooler than me. But, you know, I think that a lot of the women that follow Aubrie are pregnant or have kids. So they probably have, you know, husbands are in similar boats that we're in. So yeah, I would just say like, you know, find other dads, talk to them because they're going through the same things. Like, I think that everyone pretends they have it figured out just so they can look like they know what they're doing. But majority of us have no clue what they're doing and we're just kind of
same with moms. If you're a new mom, same. Yeah. But I don't know. Hopefully this helped you guys.
I think about my parents, you know, like they were, I mean, I don't know. My dad's turned 60 this year. I'm 34. So he's 26 when he had me. Like 20. So he was 8 years younger than me.
Yeah.
And like, I'm thinking.
Same with my parents. And they had 7 kids.
Yeah. Like how did y'all do this? Like, how did you figure this out?
I know.
You know?
Really good.
And truthfully, my parents were like financially not in a good spot when they had me, you know, like we were super poor. So like the life they had to live, like we didn't have to worry about like, oh, can we afford to buy Scarlet diapers or formula if she didn't breastfeed? Like there's families out there that like, this baby needs to breastfeed because I can't afford the formula.
Yeah.
So, you know, we're fortunate not to have gone through those things, but there are people out there that go through those things. So you're not alone if that's you. But yeah, I think that the biggest part is just find a community that you can talk to. Join our community. Talk to us. You know, I always answer my DMs about that stuff. Try to. People ask me tons of questions about where did you get Scarlett's clothes and stuff. I'm like, I don't know. Anyways, so I hope you enjoyed this video, found it useful, and if you didn't, hopefully you just like listening to Aubrie and I talk about Scarlett. Maybe here, Austin, put up a picture of Scarlett for everyone. Okay.
Thankfully. thankfully, she slept this entire time. But subscribe if you haven't, because we're going to do a lot more videos about home and business and parenthood, all that good stuff.
Share this video with a new dad or mom.
And like it, right?
Yeah.
You're worth it.
You're worth it.